Well, hello everyone. My name is Mia Finnegan, and this is my husband Rich. We are here in sunny Southern California, which is absolutely beautiful here. I'm sorry if you're in some cold part of the country that's starting to get cold, but it's absolutely incredible here. But we're just happy that you're here tonight to talk about this incredible X39 patch. And I know we have a lot of great people on here that have had incredible testimonials, and you'll hear those as well. But first and foremost, I just want to say this to Rich and I. We've been in the fitness and wellness, we would say prevention industry for the last 35. I'm just going to say 35 plus because he's like 38 at this point. I'm 36 years at this point. But it's the biggest wellness breakthrough that we've seen in our entire career. And that's saying a lot because we used to have products on QVC, fitness products and stuff like that. We've never seen anything like this. And it's been 2.5 years, almost three, it'll be 3 years in March. And it just keeps getting better. Like I feel like I keep reverse aging. I feel amazing. And I heard a great thing from David Schmidt that Rich is going to talk about, the owner inventor of the company. It was an incredible podcast he was on, and he's talking about what other things can he invent for this reverse aging, because he's like, this X39 is his first like flagship product, like that changes lives so much. So we're going to share that. I'm going to share my testimonial as we go. But did you want to say anything before
I
I
did
start?
not. No, we're good.
Okay.
Good to
Hey,
go.
Brigitte, I'm going to have you go ahead and unmute yourself. And because I'm going to get right into the testimonial. So instead of putting the slides up and taking them off, let's go ahead and hear your testimonial, and, share how X39 has, changed physically for you, and maybe even the business side too. Sometimes, people have a great little business story too, not even wanting the business, but
Mm.
they needed to share it. So go ahead, Brigitte.
Speak of your.
Okay. So my husband and I, actually, I was praying for my husband because he had come home with a diagnosis in his eyes that kind of really scared me.
Mhm.
And we were taking lots of trips back and forth to Texas, and I was doing the driving because he was not seeing very well. So anyway, at that point, I was like, Lord, what do I do now? And it seemed like immediately a friend started sharing about the X39, and I immediately knew that was the answer, even though I really didn't know what the patches were. So I joined as a brand partner because I knew that since God showed me that that was what I needed to do, I was like, well, I know I'm going to share. So I set myself up for the business part as well. And when we got the patches, my husband was a little bit skeptical, and he was like, "You wear them, and but then he got curious. But immediately when I started wearing them, I felt the mental clarity, less brain fog. I had like burning on my shoulders and up my neck. I was dealing with that a lot, and that was gone like within 3 days. And then I was starting to have some lower back issues where I ended up at the chiropractor. And I'm very active. I swim, walk, work out, uh, and then I'm active all the time. And I ended up on the couch and not being able to do anything. So, but bottom line, my back was fine within a week and a half. I mean, totally gone. And I was absolutely just floored and just very thankful because since then, so we've been on the patches for 15 months. Since then, I really haven't had any problems. Every now and then you have a little twitch or something, but since wearing the patch every day, it has just made a huge difference. And when it comes to my husband, he deals with a lot of arthritis and pain from that. And he actually had one of his arms was bent. Like, I don't know if you can see me, but
Mhm.
it was not this bad, but it was bent in the elbow. and now it's almost straight. And the pain is better. Am I allowed to say that even? The pain? Anyway,
Mhm.
the discomfort
Discomfort,
is
right? Is less.
better.
Hmm.
And I see his energy levels um, coming up. He's painting the outside window frames and getting up on ladders, and he's 77. So let's see
So
what
can we
else.
say this has
And
been life changing for both of you?
absolutely. Like I am really here late. It seemed like when we hit that 1 year mark, we started really feeling the energy part of it too. I mean, we felt it all along, but now it's like we're ready to go.
Yeah, I
And
love
like I said,
waking up with
I'm
a
72, he's 77.
yeah,
Um,
waking up
yeah,
with a spring in your step.
right. And
Yeah,
I'm starting to um the business part of it, I'm starting to get all the dots connected there. I had to take like a 10-month break because I went to help my daughter who was going through a terrible divorce, and it was really hard to focus on the business part. But I'm really excited to start sharing, and yeah, everybody needs the patch.
I love it, Brigitte.
Yeah.
That is,
I
did you
appreciate that. I just want to share that. First of all, thank you for sharing your story and congrats on that change. We know physiologically what's happening with that.
Mm,
And I think just to make a simple point, what's great is for a lot of people, it's going to be simply as, "Hey, listen, I want to get my patches paid for. And for some people, I want to earn some income, whatever it may be. But for a lot of people, it's just, I want my patches for free. So that when you do the math, it's like if you found 3 or 4 people with the same ailments
yeah.
and they're a customer, it just basically it creates it for free. And that's how this grows really fast because it gets to the point where it's like you feel we're obligated to share. You see people, friends, they post certain things, and if they had a surgery or they had any kind of issues that we don't want to make any medical claims, but it can help. It'll help their physiology better and the cellular regeneration. And 3 or 4 of them, and it equals free patches. So that's a good way to look at it, and it's just it's a place to start. The place to start is serve some other people with the same ailments, and it'll
Yeah.
just go from there. It's really simple. So we really appreciate you sharing that, and I'm glad you and your husband are both feeling better. So congrats.
That's so awesome. And so we'll go ahead and just, share some more testimonials. And these are just going to be quick. And we'll run through them super quick. But we did want to, give a disclaimer that, we don't heal, treat, cure, mitigate any disease or ailments. And we don't make any financial claims as well. It's based on the work that you do. But testimonials, these have been incredible. So this is my girlfriend, Michelle. This was a 2.5-year-old scar when we put the patches on her. And 27 days later, you can just see the noticeable difference. So from the inside out, right, the scar tissue, all of the darkening, right, the keloiding has gone down. This is her dad here. He has heart disease and diabetes, really swollen ankles, edemic ankles. You may know somebody who you're going to share this recording with may have edemic ankles. This is 8 months later. Look at the difference in his ankles from here to here. That was 8 months. He's been on them for over 2 years now, just like us. This is him as well. He had skin cancer removed 8 days later, post skin cancer. And I just told you he's a diabetic. If you know anything about diabetics, they don't heal. It takes forever to heal. And I'm going to kind of show you something on the next wound healing one. This is my girlfriend Yvonne. She's a nurse practitioner. This is a controlled laser burn on her eyes, and normally it's a 10-day, 2-week turnaround. This was 3 days. This was on a Friday. This was on a Monday. No makeup, no anything. Like it just speeds up healing. We
We see
know
that
that
over and over.
over and over and over. And then my girlfriend Shan, I reached out to her because I knew she was around my age and I figured she was going through menopause. And she said, Mia, I am literally living on the couch. My father is running circles around me, my 80-year-old dad. And I said, Shan, just try. Right. And that's the biggest thing. We always say, just try it. You know, Nike says what? Just do it. Like, just try it. You have no risk in trying it. So this is hair restoration. They've been using GHKCU copper peptide, and that's what this little patch elevates in your body, your own natural GHK. And they've been using GHK copper peptides for years for hair restoration and skin restoration. So it's no wonder, right? He grew some hair back. He also is darker. It used to be silvery, and now it's charcoal gray. Another friend of ours, whose family member has this wound, had this wound for 15 years. Put the patch on. 6 weeks later, like serious, like it's crazy how much it's healing and closed up. The keloiding is going away. I haven't checked in with her recently to see if there's an updated photo.
But let me say something. It wouldn't be crazy if that person was 25 years old or 30 years old. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's one of those indications
But this is somebody in their 50s.
it reverses that function, so it brings it back to those normal states, those healthier states. It's
Yep.
super simple. It's not the patch itself, but it's tapping into the body's
Right.
own regenerative processes. So
Yeah.
I'm just having fun.
Yeah. He
You know,
loves
you got to think about the
Yeah,
perspective.
he looks,
It's
and
just
the
like
science part of it really
good healing.
intrigued us. That's
Yeah.
why, that's what got us interested. And this is one of the studies when we first were introduced to this. And just like you, Brigitte, this is an answer to prayer for us because we were praying about, okay, how are we going to get through what we went through losing our son 7 years ago? And we knew that we just needed to serve at a high level. We didn't know what, we were just praying and we're like, what do you want us to do? And this literally dropped in our lap. But I saw this study and I had 6 concussions as a college gymnast. So this made all the sense to me. Inflammation in the brain, right? Session one, right? Not a lot of brain coherence. Her brain was not speaking to her. Her two hemispheres were not speaking to each other. And then 3 weeks of wearing the patch on the back of her neck, dramatic improvement, and then more even in the 6 week mark. So if that is all it ever did for me, then I was in. And guess what? The first day I wore the patch, I said to him, I'm like, I feel like somebody gave me Windex for my brain. It was crazy. And I said, it's a placebo. And Rich is like, just keep putting the patch on. Andy said the same thing. Just keep putting the patch on, Mia. And then this is my sleep score. I wear something called a Whoop band on my wrist. If you don't know what it is, you can look it up. It basically tracks all my vital statistics of my body, sleep being the number one. And it increased 31% in the first month and another 6% in the second month. So it increased 37% in 2 months. What does that mean? Deep and REM sleep. If you don't know what that is, deep is your physical restoration and REM sleep is your brain restoration. So if you don't get good deep in REM, I was only getting 2 hours and 12 minutes. Then it went all the way up to 3:05. And last February, I was like, let me see where it is now. I'm getting like 4 hours, 3 hours and 42 minutes of restful sleep so I can function. And then I know you like to kind of share this.
Well, I'll
too,
touch
so-
base on this too. There are clues, and when you look around, you do a little bit of research that by age 30, we've lost about 30% of that stem cell activity, that youthful stem cell activity.
Mm.
And then by age 60, we've lost 50 to 75% of it. So it's really natural to see that the faster we age, the slower we heal because these things are decreasing. And there's just millions and millions of people there. So that's why we're having so much fun just sharing this because it's just, there's so many people who need that help, who maybe aren't taking as good a care of themselves, or they're just going through the normal aging process. And so it just allows us to just keep, helping so many people and helping them in so many ways. These are the typical type of benefits people will get in varying degrees. Everyone's going to be different based on the needs. The body will go ahead and heal what it needs to first. We can't say, oh, make my hair turn color. It's going to go into the vital, we talk about vitality and it's the vital organs and the vitality. It's cardiovascular, heart and blood and tissue. And those are the vital things for the body. So increasing stamina, inflammation, reducing inflammation, energy, vitality, mental clarity, all those things that you see. And as Mia said, improved sleep, skin appearance, all those things are what we see. So it just comes down to people putting the patch on and letting it do the work and let the body figure out what's most critical.
Literally, I've had every single one of those on there. There isn't one that I haven't had. And these are the long-term studies. In the first few days, your genes begin to reset to a younger age. Now, think about what that means. Your human genome starts to reverse in age within the first few days of wearing this patch. That's why people don't get it. They don't understand because you can't feel that.
Yeah.
Some people do. Like I felt the brain clarity, but within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. Like I said, mine was 6 hours. 3 months, your own collagen is increased. And this is the thing when I talk about that GHK and this collagen, it's your own. It's your own bodies. It's called endogenous. They're the ones that our own body creates. So when this elevates that, all of a sudden, Rich is like, I think your fine lines are going away. And to this day, I just feel like my skin keeps getting better and better. And then within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. So you can see that testimonial I shared earlier on Michelle's dad. His heart got stronger, was able to pump all that fluid out of his ankles. And David calls it age reversal. He doesn't call it anti-aging. He calls it age reversal.
And we see vascular improvement. That's one of the biggest things is that cardiovascular system, the way it works. And again, stem cells will always go correct the most vital thing, and as we age, our body is going to hold on. It's going to try and protect those organs as much as possible. And some of the research that David did, he realized that age reversal was something that he wanted to pour himself into. And that's what he did in 2008. He focused on that and spent about 10 years and $4.5 million, as it says, to develop this X39 patch. And he took technologies where he had 180 patents in all these different areas, the same technology, and then he used the same technology for the X39 patch. And it's just been incredible. And he's been doing studies all along the way. So it's the validity of it to see that, see the proof is in the pudding. And the first batch of pudding was this energy enhancer. This was the very first one. We just like to educate people on that one because this was the first one where he took that technology and it got picked up by a bunch of professional athletes and Olympic athletes and top tier Division I coaches and swim coaches. And you can look at the Richard Quick story and see that. And so that just really got our attention when we saw
also
all
the
these.
government contract too.
Well, he started with government contracts for the Navy SEALs and developed that energy patch for Navy SEALs to have sustained energy instead of amphetamines and injections or whatever else they were using. And so he converted and utilized that, and then these athletes. This is old footage it's old press from 20 plus years ago, where so many athletes were using these patches, and where it started. And it was the energy patch, but we took that same technology to elevate cellular or stimulate cellular activity within the body, and then now we're dealing with this X39, which is this patented product that is, as you see, elevating copper peptide. Just jot that down if you're looking at this. Is GHKCU. It's like the grandmama or granddaddy. Some people, it's sexist to say granddaddy, but the grandmama, the grand person of peptides. The grand peptide. The grand peptide is GHKCU, and including activation of, because it ties into stem cells. This isn't a peptide that elevates. Getting me fired up now. This isn't a peptide that elevates to suppress your appetite like some of the GLP ones do, which is cool. It's great. It taps into stem cell activity. That's why it's the grand person. No, grand peptide. Okay, so it improves energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction of inflammation, management of pain, improvements in stamina, elevation of collagen production, all those things that it does. And that's just tied into that stem cell activity. So knowing that it's a patented technology, you're not going to be out there with a bunch of other people saying, "Oh, I want this patch. It's the same as the other one." And it's really not. It's the X39 is the one that we're dealing with and talking about now, and so to keep it compliant, right? Supports the flow of natural energy within the body. Well, let me stop there. Copper. Think about copper in your house. It's your energy system. So we're improving the energy system within your body. Imagine if your house, if you lost 50% of the copper within your house,
and the electrical boards.
You think about it within your house, it's not going to function. And this is exactly what we're doing. It's supporting that energy flow within our body, supports whole body wellness. Remember, this is not a medical device. It's not an illness device. It's wellness. So we don't treat, cure, mitigate, or diagnose any diseases, but we help with cellular health and vitality within the body. Really, those universal healing cells. And it just leads to the body behaving younger, to the cell at the cellular level. So Mia's going to show a little video here, really how it works, so you can get a very quick introduction in that, and then we'll pick it up.
Here's how the technology works. A patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, Infrared light emitted from the body is reflected back into the tissue. This stimulates the skin, which in turn stimulates specific regions of the brain. The brain then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy and the ability to heal itself.
Well, that makes it simple so you can understand, because we could say, okay, well, here, this is where I wear my patch. We're going to show you that's where I wear my patch because I had a really nasty shoulder. But if I said to you, yeah, my light from my body, hits it and reflects it back in, you probably look at me with like a crooked head. But that just makes it so simple and easy. And that's where we wear it either on the back of the neck, below the belly button, or I always say patch the pain. That's where my pain spot was. That's where I wear it every single day. Put one on every single day, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Normally it's right now because it's around a little after 5 our time and I get up at 5 in the morning. I take it off and then we put a new patch on every day. I hydrate well. I always wear at least 3 patches, different patches for sports performance and stuff too. So I stay super hydrated. I'm using a hydration drink, whatever that is for you.
I just want to share something real quick about the reflection of this, and it's something that got me excited in research earlier. If you ever study linen, just study linen and see what it's called the healing cloth, because it reflects our light back into our body. Guess what doesn't do that? Polyester. With polyester, we're wrapping our body in plastic. That's not a good thing. So again, just a little bit of all those things started adding up when I started doing research, and actually scriptural and biblically talking about linen and how it's a healing cloth. And it helps for that body to reflect it back and work at the cellular level. Just like the Cellergize does, what it does is helps your body get into a better state so that it can do what it's supposed to do better, right? And what it does is by elevating that GHKCU, and as you see in there, the sea buckthorn fruit extract is clinically proven to improve the health and vitality of your stem cells. Enough said, that's why it's the grand peptide.
That's what we call it. I just wanted to show you that just because this is something that just came out a few months back, and it basically works synergistically with the patches, all the daytime patches, to help elevate the effects of it. So that's why we're telling everybody, like, if you don't have enough copper in your body, the X39 isn't going to work as efficiently. And this has copper, has beta alanine. I'm not even going to go through all the ingredients. You can see it right here. Like, to me, this is one of the best products on the market as far as overall for even value. What you get in this for the price that you get it for is just absolutely phenomenal. Like, you cannot get a formulation like this anywhere. It's absolutely incredible. So I always encourage everybody to work, get them together, purchase them together, because it does support the health and vitality of your stem cells. And Rich and I will say that over and over and over. It's kind of like in our brain now, because the vitality, as Rich talks about, what are the vital organs in the body? The heart, the brain, right? The digestive system, your lungs, organ, everything, right? That's your vitality. We want to increase the vitality of those. Okay, so we're going to move on here. If you need more information, maybe the person who invited you here tonight, shared this with you, but go there if you want to see more of the patents, the studies, testimonials, maybe if you're looking for something particular. But this is a great website. There's like a few videos in the beginning. Maybe somebody, invited you with that website. But when you do get started, when you reach back to the person who invited you or shared this recording with you, make sure you fill out the health tracker before you start. It's super important because sometimes you forget how bad you were feeling until you're feeling so good. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot I had tingling in my fingers. Oh, I forgot I had numbness in my toes. Oh, I forgot, right? You tend to forget it because you feel so good. So just make sure the person who invited you definitely does that. So this is basically, how do we get started? Like, if you're on here and you're like, I need some of those for sure, right? You heard Brigitte's story. You'll hear a little bit more stories too, but contact that friend who invited you, either become a preferred customer, a PC Plus, or a brand partner. And you heard Brigitte, like she got started as a brand partner because she knew she wanted to share it. So, but whatever's comfortable for you. PC is a great program. You get them for $99. So just so you know, this is a sleeve of X39. There's 30 of these beautiful little, whoops. These beautiful little patches in there, a 30-day supply. And you get it for $99. Normal is at $149 is retail, but if you just sign up for Subscribe and Save, you get some loyalty samples along the way as well. The PC Plus program is a great program too, as we talked about. If you want to get your patches paid for, you pay $24.95 a year. You get a whole bunch of support patches during the year. Same thing, $99 with a Subscribe and Save. But then you have a share link. When you share your link with three, we always say if you share it with three, you get yours free. So that might be a great option for you. Or like Brigitte and some of the people on here tonight, they became a brand partner because they knew, they're like, you know what? It makes sense. Like I feel the results. I know what I'm, doing. Like I have to share this with people. We always say like, we can't not share
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
like I would be a bad person. I feel like,
Can I go
right?
back
So
to that real quick?
yeah, sure.
Just real quick, I want to touch base. There's people come in so many different ways. Some people come in just using products. Some people come in, they want to get their products paid for free, or they want to make a few $100s, which is awesome. And that's a lot of people. And then there's some people like, hey, you know what? I'm in a situation where I haven't recovered from COVID, or maybe my mortgage payment is a little bit tough, and there's some data that says I don't know what the number is, but if someone
I
had
think
$500 a
yeah.
month, that would be the difference between them saving and losing their home, right? That's why I have so many people doing little gig things like like Uber and
yeah.
and DoorDash, all that kind of stuff. So my point is, if you want to earn a little bit, but then if someone really like, hey, I need to make 500, and again, there's no financial guarantee. I need to make a 500,000, 2,000 or more. That's with that brand partner, because you look at it this way: you could open a donut shop and have your little business as your donut shop, or you could open franchises of Tim Hortons if they're still around, Honeydew, whatever it is, right? You could have multiple things. And that's just the difference on the business concept of that it's like a retail mom and pop, or you can franchise it out in essence, where you have multiple people distributing anywhere around the globe, really. And it's really a personal choice. But again, we always say, reach back to the person that shared it with you. Certainly start on products for your, some people alive and some people will be watching this recorded. Start with products and watch what happens. And then all of a sudden that light bulb goes up. It's like, you know what? I could help this person, this person, this person. As Mia said, you get to the point where you can't not share it. You become obligated because you know what
Yeah.
it's going to do,
And one thing I didn't mention is as a customer, you get a 90-day money back guarantee. So a lot of my customers, because I'm in the personal training business, I have them, I always ask them, I say, is your health not worth at least 90 days?
Yep.
And they're like, yes.
Yes.
So I say, okay, then buy 3 up front, even as a customer, buy 3 up front, because you have a 90-day money back guarantee on that very first order. Okay.
Yep.
So they put the money up front, maybe $298. Then at the 89th day, if
Yep.
they truly don't notice anything and they're like, I'm going to get my money back, you can get your money back. Like they honor that beyond belief.
Yep.
And then the other one is the brand partner is a 30-day money back
And that's a
guarantee.
good point too, because as our friends in the health and holistic health space have taught us that, with the treatments that they do, they have the conversation. Listen, this is natural. This is at the cellular level. We're not injecting a drug into you or a
Right.
needle or a surgery or giving a surgery. Are you willing to, like Mia said, is your health worth 90 days? Because this is what happens when we're doing things naturally,
Yeah.
and just to be able to communicate to that people and that's but it's great design. David and the team, the corporate team, they just know they want to give it a chance to work within the body.
Yeah.
and give no risk. There's no risk to that. 90 days is a good trial. And within
Yeah.
that period of time, people will notice what's going on. So I just want to make
And
that.
one of our friends, Dr. Jen O'Sullivan, she always, talks about 6 months to a year. And you heard Brigitte's story, like they're really feeling the noticeable
Yeah.
results now after that year mark. She's been 15 months, but you definitely it just gets better and better.
Yeah.
So again,
Naturally.
if somebody was interested in becoming a brand partner, just get back to that person again who invited you. Either way, customer, brand partner. But if you become a brand partner, you have 3 different options to get involved. We say good, better, best scenario. You either get 3 sleeves, 6 sleeves, or 20 sleeves. But the person who invited you to this call can definitely go over that with you and share how you can get started. So I'm going to go ahead and stop share. And tonight, normally I stop the recording and then open it up for Q&A. Tonight, I'm just going to leave it recording and then I'm going to separate it into 2 videos. So I'm just going to say, if anybody's on here and they don't want to, they don't want to share, or they're ready, they heard everything they want to hear, you can hop off. There's no, I'm not going to hold you here hostage. But if you want to share a story or share what you liked about what you heard,
Yep.
please please go ahead and do that. And
And
then
we'll have a hard stop if 10 minutes from now, we'll have a
Yep,
hard stop.
hard
So
stop
just-
10 minutes from now. So, so if you left, goodbye, everyone. Have a great evening, and we will see you next time. And otherwise, everybody else, unmute your line if you want to say something. Again, share with us. It's really important that we hear from you. Yeah, go ahead, Sue.
I'll share a little bit.
Okay.
I turned 70 this year, and Mia knows that I came to this because of my daughter, Rachel. I suffer from aggressive inflammation, and back in the 80s, it was really severe. It took over 3 years of medical treatment and dietary control to get rid of the inflammation then. But then, you know, it builds up because you get less careful about your diet and among other things, and age catches up in some respects. And my inflammation was so bad in January that I was dragging a leg and my weight was just ballooning, pain and brain fog, everything. And I'm still working full time, so it was getting a little bit more difficult. And I live in Maine and I have to shovel. So I have to shovel snow, so I needed to be mobile. So when I saw what it did for my daughter, Rachel, physically, and heard what helped with her because she had a meniscus tear in her knee, I started just with the pain relievers, the ice wave. And after 1 week on the ice wave, I said, oh, this really helps. So I went from being a preferred customer to immediately to core, and then I jumped up, and now I'm at, you know, the advanced. And I use them all, and what a difference they make. I would say probably in the last week, I'm walking almost normally. Not fast, I'm not running, I'm not hiking the woods or anything like that, but I'm not dragging a leg. I still have inflammation. That's going to take a while, much longer, to get rid of. But I've also been sharing and with other people, and I share some patches, and I don't know what it is, but they don't see them doing anything, but their pain's gone and stuff like that. And the last person I've shared with and supplied patches with is my 93-year-old mother. I sent her some patches, and she wants to live to be 100, and she's in pretty good shape. She's had melanoma, and she's had some other surgeries, and she has low vision and stuff now from being a very active person. And when I first sent it to her, she says, I'm not going to use them. I said, Mom, I said, you tell me you want to live to be 100. You have to at least try them. And Rich's mother is in her 90s. And I said, well, you know, Rich's mom's in her 90s. If you want to talk to another 90-year-old that's using them, I'll put you in touch. And so my mother called me up after 3 weeks, and she says, I've lost my patches. Can you send me some more? And I said, I thought they weren't working for you too well. She says, I don't have pain in my hip anymore. And she was put on oxycodone years and years ago when she had knee surgery. And then she was weaned off of it probably within the past 6 years. So she's been on oxy for 20, 30 years. And so she has a patch that she wears for pain, but it didn't cut all of her pain. And she says she doesn't have pain in her hips anymore for the first time in 30, 40 years when she gets up in the morning. She's still using her pain patch. But so she's very excited. The fact that she called me up to ask for some, and she will eventually participate because she said she would like to talk to people and listen to this, but because of her low vision, she has a little bit of difficulty. So one time when Rachel and I are around, we'll hop on a Wednesday evening call, but she's in Pennsylvania, I'm in Maine, and Rachel's in North Carolina. So logistically, it's a little bit difficult, but it doesn't, I guess I'm telling you this because, like, me and Rich say, sharing with people, just talking with them, and because when you have people like my mother who's a skeptic, and she is extremely intelligent, so she is quite the skeptic, and just because I gave her the patches and I made her feel guilty if she wasn't going to wear them, she started wearing them. And now she says, "Oh, I'm going to want some more. Just don't send them yet." You know, so
I love it.
these
that.
have been a life-changing
Yeah.
event for me to be able to use the patches. So,
That's so good.
well,
Can I
thank you.
make a
Well,
comment?
I wanted to say, just Sue, from the first time I met you and got you on the phone that first time, just your whole body language, your disposition is like night and day, like
Mhm.
180 the other direction. Like sitting up straighter, you're glowing, your skin looks like it's glowing. Like it is absolutely, it gives me the chills. I'm
Circulation.
just so
Yeah.
glad because I know Rachel was like, she's not going to use them. That was her first thing when she was going to send him to you. She's like, she won't use them. And then I said, Rachel, if you think it can help her, like, please send him to. And then when she sent him, she was like, she's in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Us
And
stubborn New Englanders are tough nuts to crack, you know?
that's
And
well,
like,
I'm not a native New Englander. I'm from the Midwest originally.
oh,
And I
really?
grew up in Pennsylvania, so I've
Wow.
just
Now you're a
settled up here in
maniac.
Maine.
Now you're a Maine.
Now you're a maniac.
Yeah, now I'm a maniac.
Same with my mom, you know, it was really because it takes, you know, we talk about 30 days for every 10 years, and Ice Wave was really the first thing for her. She noticed that pain. She's like, would you get me some more of those patches? My knee doesn't bother me when I'm using
When
them.
I sleep
And then
too.
when they notice, when they notice is when they stop using them. And then they're like, will you get, I ran out, I forgot to take them. And then
Yes.
and the same kind of thing happens. And so
Mhm.
it's just a matter of them just giving it the time for it to work.
Right.
I'm happy, so happy for
Yeah.
you.
Well, I started with the Ice Wave. I started my mother with the X39, though, after listening to everybody say that the workhorse is, you want to start them with that patch.
Yeah.
Especially since she was already on the pain patch. I didn't want to say, well, this is going to help that or anything. But her voice is much stronger. She's winning almost all of her card games now. And she is sleeping better. Not long, because we're short periods of time. We're not extensive sleepers in that respect genetically, but she is sleeping better. So I expect in 6 months she's going to be gung ho.
Congratulations and
That's
thank you for
awesome,
sharing
Steve.
that. And
Thank
it's
you for sharing.
you see you talk about those things, speaking and this and that cardiovascular, right? We know how much that
And
cardiovascular
brain cognition.
is
Yes.
improved. So thanks for sharing and congrats. Christy, do you want to unmute yourself? Love to hear from you.
Yeah, so kind of a weird thing. I started with X39 a couple of years ago because I had had surgery where the wound wasn't healing on the back of my Achilles. And so it finally, after 6 days, was closed enough that I could start crutching instead of knee scootering. And then after that, I noticed things like I had a big age spot here. That went away. I had lost some weight by cutting out sugar and eating better, and like inflammation in my face. Like I didn't have that puffy round face. And then we just recently moved. Anything we could fit in the Jeep with 2 dogs, a cat, and 3 plants. We drove from North Carolina to New Mexico. We live in a camper. We're going back next weekend to get our stuff out of storage. And my husband and I did not fight. Like the moving process was stressful. We weren't ready. We were literally throwing things in boxes, running to storage because we were like, it was very chaotic. He was working in New Mexico. I was in North Carolina. That was the patch. Like literally, we've moved before, and there was another company that had a supplement that we used, but this was amazing that we weren't stressed out and like fighting with each other. So that was a total win. And then today I went to the foot doctor. After just years of not wearing proper shoes and whatever, my pinky toe has kind of like tucked underneath the other toe. And one of the ways to fix it is I've tried toe spacers, I've tried adjusting my feet, but I'm going to have surgery. And I walked out of there and I was like, cool, let's do it. He wants to put me on this anti-inflammatory medicine. And I was like, yeah, no, I got some other things I can use before. So I have to wait like 30 days. But I already know I got other patches in the arsenal besides X39. So I walked out of there kind of like, cool, I'll give you 30 days of using the things I know I can do. And then let's schedule the surgery. And I know I'm going to heal fast. So that's kind of my story with the X39 and the patches, is that I'm winning. Like there's so many different things that it's helped me with. And I'm excited that I'm going to be able to like heal fast from the surgery because of the patch.
That's fantastic.
Christy, that's so
Thank you for sharing that. It's true. I mean, hey, listen, you talk about who to share it with. Like, I'll tell you right now,
Everybody.
anyone who's going to have a surgery, like, seriously, that's like,
Yep.
that's part of the target market, like because it does. And clinically GHK, I mean, they use it in ointments. They use GHK in ointments to heal. They use it in for hair restoration, et cetera. It's been proven.
Healing.
It's been proven to help with the regenerative because it is cell signaling. Peptides signal the cells to go ahead and start to heal and regenerate. So congrats, and we'll look forward to
That's
hearing
awesome,
that
Christy.
story, Christy.
And you,
due to
you
catch-
talk about your workouts. You're kicking butt on your workouts. Like she's working out with us a couple days a week now.
So
Yeah.
my husband touched my shoulder today. He was like, because I was just like telling him about my surgery and stuff, and like my feet. He's like rubbing. And I go, oh, be careful, that's kind of sore. I'm like, we just use bands and lightweight, but she tells us to squeeze things, and even though she's not in the room, I'm doing it. So he's like, I'm proud of you. I'm like, me too, because if I'm on crutches, I'm gonna need all the help I can get. So I love it. Thanks.
You'll be, I was just
Awesome,
keep
Christy.
going.
Yeah.
You'll be
You're gonna
good with
kick butt.
that. We're glad that we can help you in the move with your exercising classes and everything else. Well, let's catch up. We're due to catch up for sure.
Yeah.
So we've come to the end now. So why don't we just wrap it up? And we appreciate you being here, and just continue to share and reach out. We'll have a recorded version if you want to share any segments of this, and we just look forward to helping you. There's a lot going on. We have a great event here on Saturday in Southern California. If you know
We'll see
anyone
you there, Christy.
in this area, yep. Oh, she's gonna make it up. Oh, that's fantastic. And then we have our global event, and then we're working with corporate on just events through the year throughout the country to so we can help spread the word. So we appreciate everyone being here,
Yeah.
and just share this message with as many people as you can. And we're here. We look forward to helping in any way, helping anyone that you know that needs help. So thank you so much.
And again, if you watched it all the way to the end, then, definitely get back to the person who shared this with you. And because obviously they thought enough about you to, share it with you, because we just know that we're helping so many people, and that we're not going to stop. It's we can help everybody around the world. This is a worldwide company. It's not just here in the US, and just keep sharing. Sharing is caring. And that's what we want to do. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for everybody who shared tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brigitte. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Christy. And thanks for Ralph and Sheila for hopping on it as well. I know Jody had to hop off, but thank you, everyone. And we will see you on the next one. Night, all.
Have a great night. We'll see you.